From American actors who became governors, the former later elected president, the latter also known for the phrase,
"I'll be back,"
to Chima and Chinua, two of Africa's most famous authors, who, though not related, by some freaky coincidence, lived in the same house several years apart. And sadly, things did fall apart. To American T. Ribs and German M. Schumacher, Formula One aficionados, born on the same day. From America's first black ballerina to Robert Ballard. From Indian author, teacher of yoga, BKS Nyenga, who reminds us that we're not getting any younger. To the drama in Bahama and the rumble in the jungle. A killer and a chiller and the thriller in Manila. To Malala and Lilibeth, the former whose son almost set in the SWAT district from an assassin's bullet. The latter, Her Royal Majesty, whose empire the sun was said to never set. To the exquisite beauty of our majestic universe. There's something for everyone right here, right now. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sotomie Afiesimama and this is Today in History for the 7th of January. Let's get cracking. In today's Today in History, there's an Italian astronomer, an African-American inventor, a female who made history as well as the first mayor of a certain city somewhere in the world. So, we shall reveal the first recorded event on this day in history. This was the year 1610. Galileo Galilei, pictured here. He, on this day, made what has been called an earth-shaking discovery. Now, he discovered that 4 moons, which I shall reveal shortly, right here, these 4 moons, Europa, Io, Callisto, and Ganymede. He discovered that these 4 moons revolve around Jupiter and that the telescope also revealed many more stars than are visible to the naked eye. So Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei made history on this day. The year was 1610. This was the year that he discovered these 4 moons, Jupiter's moons, Europa, Io, Callisto, and Ganymede. 1890. This is the African-American inventor W.B. Purvis, pictured right here. This was the day in 1890 that W.B. Purvis received a patent for the fountain pen. So essentially, this is a guy who invented the fountain pen. The year that he received his patent was 1890, and the day, of course, or the date was the 7th of January. In 1955, on this day, history again was made. Marion Anderson becomes the first African-American to perform with the New York Metropolitan Opera. This is the beautiful Marion Anderson, who in 1955, on this day, January 7th, becomes the first African-American to perform with the New York Metropolitan Opera. If you're enjoying my videos so far, don't forget to check out my other videos like this one right here about the Pan-American, the defunct Pan-American. And also, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, like, share to your various social media platforms. There's Facebook, Twitter, your email, Reddit, Pinterest, Blogger, Tumblr, and LinkedIn. So also subscribe. That would really help push my videos to other subscribers as well. Also helps with the algorithm. And of course, you get notifications as soon as any of my other videos drop. Okay, let's get back on track to the other events as recorded in history. Next, we have the Surveyor 7th on this day, which made history. The Surveyor 7th, as you may have seen from this envelope here, was an uncrewed U.S. space probe. It was launched today, the 7th of January. The year was 1968, and a few days later, it made a soft landing on the moon. So again, this is the Surveyor 7, illustrated here on the back of this envelope. It made history on this day when it was launched, and it landed on the moon a few days later. 2 years later, in 1970, this actor called Doug E. Dog was born. Doug E. Dog was born in Brooklyn, New York City. He has appeared in a number of films, including Jungle Fever, Hangin with the Homeboys, both came out in 1991, Cool Runnings in 1993, Operation Dumbo Drop 1995, and the remake of Disney's That Darn Cat in 1997. So happy birthday, Doug E. Dog, who is an actor. He's 51 years old today, known most famously for the movie Cool Runnings. If you haven't seen Cool Runnings, go check it out. Absolute brilliant film, brilliant comedy. Okay, 2001, on this day, John Kufuor, pictured here, who is given the salute of victory and looks a bit like a Jamaican athlete. What's his name now? I'm sure you guys are screaming his name now. Nice screaming his name. What's that his name? This Jamaican athlete who's famous for this a similar sign. Usain Bolt, that's the one. You know, my gray cells are multiplying, I'm sure. Anyway, John Kufuor, former president of Ghana, was inaugurated as president of Ghana in that country's first peaceful transition from elected governments to another. So from one elected government to another. First peaceful transition. Not very common in Africa, sadly. We hope that our democracy is maturing and that the next few elections over the next few years, we will see more peaceful transition of power. Okay, so John Kufuor, exactly 20 years ago today, was inaugurated as president of Ghana in that country's first peaceful transition from one elected government to another. Exactly a year later, on this day, of course, Shirley Franklin, pictured here, beautiful Shirley Franklin, was sworn in as the first female mayor and the fourth African-American mayor of Atlanta. Atlanta is in Georgia State in the United States of America. So again, Shirley Franklin sworn in on this day in 2002 as the first female mayor and fourth African-American mayor of Atlanta. Exactly a year later as well, 2003, on this day, by presidential decree, Christmas was celebrated for the first time as a national holiday by Coptic Christians in Egypt. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Coptic Christians represent about 10 to 13% of the population of Egypt, you know, and before this day in 2003, the majority Muslims did not recognize the Coptic faith officially, you know, so but this was the first time that they were allowed to celebrate Christmas officially. Christmas was recognized officially by the state of Egypt, and the Coptic Christians, of course, were overjoyed. So we hope that peace continues to reign in Egypt. I think I did a video where I reported that there was a bit of trouble, big conflict between the Coptic Christians and the Muslims, and a lot of people died in that disturbance. So we keep hoping that peace prevails in countries where you have Muslims and Christians, or Buddhists and Hindus, you know, people of other faiths living together who seem to have issues with one another. You know, once in a while you'd have a breakout, fights break out and people are killed. Of course, we don't want that in our world. We should learn to live peacefully with one another. Okay, guys, on that note, we have come to the end of today's Today in History. Hopefully, you'll join me tomorrow, January 8th, for another edition of Today in History. Thanks for dropping by, guys. Thanks for your support. I appreciate your support. Stay safe. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.